Hey everybody, this is JR from West Virginia Uncommonplace, and I am here to tell you about Anchor Nebula and their Go Anywhere series of projectors. They are some of the best projectors you can use when you're on the go, going camping, just even around the house. And these models include the Capsule 2, the Capsule 3 laser, and the brand new Mars 3. So definitely take time to go out and grab one of these projectors, and you will be immersed in an experience that you're not going to get anywhere else. Remember, Anchor Nebula is the way to go.
WV Uncommonplace. This podcast is a variety podcast that houses numerous series to cover mental health, empowerment, podcast framework, and various intimate theories to get to know the hosts. Along with occasional movies reviews and dives in pop culture with our event podcast episodes. The Uncommonplace digs into bringing guests on that stories don't fit the mold and are very different. WV stands for the great state of West Virginia, and every quarter we cover something in West Virginia. Stacey and myself, JR, are your hosts, so please come along for this venture to our uncommon place.
Welcome back, listeners, to an amazing episode of West Virginia Uncommonplace. I'm your host, JR, and today we dive headfirst into the enthralling web of Spider-Man's animated legacy. But buckle up, because we're about to go into the tumultuous world of Marvel's financial struggles that contribute to the rise and fall of this iconic series. So let's take a minute real quick. Whenever I think about the animated series for Spider-Man, I go back to the failed attempt for the X-Men animated series that was tied into that video game. For some reason, I don't know why I relate the two, even though the X-Men animated series came out later, something I'll definitely be talking about later on down the road. So let's go here real quick. Swing back with me to early 90s, a time when Saturday morning was electrified by the adventures of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Premiering in 1994, the Spider-Man, the animated series, captivated an audience. It catapulted the friendly neighborhood hero into the hearts of millions of fans. This show's captivating storytelling, rich character development, and dynamic animation elevated it beyond a mere cartoon and become a cultural phenomenon. Now, this show and Batman were neck and neck. A lot of people say whatever they're going to say about X-Men, the animated series, but I can kind of, when I do a show about that, you'll understand why I say what I say about this. This one right here, and tied into the video games, Maximum Carnage came out, Separation Anxiety, so many different characters, and they even had the animated series game. If it wasn't for this, the vast world of Spider-Man wouldn't be where it is today. People wouldn't even care about it. This is, like I said, Batman animated series and Spider-Man animated series are two that sit in the top with my top TV shows. So this animated series, Venom, Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus are brought to life in vivid detail. The series is a love letter to the comic books, and the show didn't shy away from dark themes, offering complex narratives that resonated on a deep level. Like, you had to be deep into Spider-Man if you were into Spider-Man, because I know adults that watched it that it just captured them, especially like the storylines with the Fantastic Four. Anybody and everybody that tied into this, and even the way that they brought the X-Men into the narrative, I'll still never forget that, especially the role that Beast plays in this. Beast was always locked up in the 90s. So, and like I said, video games tie into this, but this one, it was just one of those things. But Spider-Man's web of adventures expanded. The intricate web of financial struggles that Marvel Comics faced behind the scenes throughout the 90s was caught. They were caught in financial woes that stemmed from various factors, including overexpansion, marketing missteps, and an ill-fated distribution deal. The financial turmoil cast a shadow over the production of the Spider-Man animated series, and Marvel's precarious situation led to budget constraints, which in turn affected the quality of the show's later seasons. The animation suffered, the storylines became more disjointed, and the magic that had once made the series shine started to fade. The situation reached a critical point when Marvel filed for bankruptcy in 1997. The fate of the beloved anime series was intertwined with the fate of the entire company. The impending darkness cast uncertainty over the show's future, and fans watch as their favorite web slinger face challenges both on and off the screen. Despite the challenges and the legacy of Spider-Man, the animated series endures. Its impact on pop culture cannot be understood, as it helped solidify Spider-Man's status as one of the most beloved superheroes. The show's themes of responsibility, sacrifice, and heroism struck a chord that still resonates to this day. And through this turbulence and stuff that went on here, this is where I started learning more about the behind-the-scenes stuff, because back when I was a kid, you didn't have all the internet and stuff like that, but you would get just little small comments. And I noticed that when we were going to comic book conventions back in the early 90s and stuff, you heard small talks and other stuff like that. As the turbulent 90s gave way to a new millennium, Marvel gradually rose from the ashes of bankruptcy, aided by the success of the Spider-Man movie franchise and the growing Marvel cinematic universe. The company regained its financial footing, but the scars of its past continued to influence their decision making. The lessons learned from Marvel's financial struggles shaped the company's path forward. They became more vigilant in balancing creative endeavors with sound financial planning. The legacy of Spider-Man animated series serves as a reminder that even the mightiest heroes can face their own challenges. Now, on that accord, cartoon was amazing. The last few seasons you could throw away. I will always say that. And once again, this is another one that didn't have a bad fall because it ran its course. And in the rise and fall of shows, like, the only thing that was faulty here was Marvel has a messy agreement with the Spider-Man license, which is an episode I'll cover one day. So working with Saban and the people that were making Power Rangers at the time, they had everything going good for them. But to wrap this all up and to make this flow very good, like what we've been doing, this is another one of the top series that I consider an animation. If you ever get a chance, just definitely Batman, animated series, and Spider-Man, even if you don't watch them all the way through. There's episodes, and it's so much knowledge that you can learn about characters that you don't know about, like Doctor Strange and Dormammu. I didn't even know who the fuck they were growing up. Next thing you know, I learned them from Spider-Man. And then the later on series that came out, none of them ever recaptured what the animated series did in the very beginning. So people can say what they want about the Spectacular and all those other ones, but this is the one that sticks with me. So once again, like always, seek the uncommon. I'm JR, and I'm signing off from West Virginia Uncommonplace.
Please follow WV Uncommonplace on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, where we have some great content, Facebook, LinkedIn. Hit up the merch store at oncommonplace.square.site. Join the email list from the website, and rate, subscribe, and give feedback from your favorite podcatcher. And lastly, thanks for listening, and tune into the next episode.